Right, guys, I'm about to give you some advice that would have tripled my profits today. And yeah, so actually, before I do this, I'm going to go into my daily bias and explain this trade, and then I'm going to explain why, if I knew this before today, I would have been able to 3x my profits. So, firstly, let's explain why I was bullish. So we have this higher time frame equilibrium, as you can see, from swing highs to swing lows. I wanted this equilibrium to get filled, which it did. And then around there, we also had this high and this other high that basically just strengthened my bias and gave me some good targets. And yeah, and then entry confluences, pretty much going into the day, it was looking for sweeper liquidity first because that's a strategy. Sweeper liquidity, break a structure, imbalance. Basically, if you want to dumb it down, we had Asia session taking out this equilibrium, no, this 4 hour low, and then this equilibrium here. We also had this 1 hour low as well that got taken out. And then from that, looking for a break structure. In this case, we actually had an inverse of the fair value gap. We had this all being closed above. Then going on to the 5 minute time frame, we had this equilibrium that got tapped into, as well as this imbalance being filled pretty much perfectly. And then I entered, because we didn't completely fill the imbalance, and this body of the candle is actually less than half the size of, like, from wick to wick. I didn't enter off this candle, I entered off this candle. And yeah, so I entered longs there, target being 4 hour high, equilibrium, previous day high, and then this is my break even point. So this is where I moved my stop loss to break even at Asia session highs. And as you can see, price did come up, and all these times we were this close to my take profit. And for me, being on a live account for the first time and not really being used to making actually any real significant money from trading, seeing 120, 130 pounds, so about 150 plus dollars fluctuating around here, really got in my head. And this actually, with my stop loss being at break even, I was seeing that much money on my phone. I didn't want to lose out on that opportunity of making profits for the day. So this is the key bit. I was greedy. I ended up moving my stop loss higher to prevent me walking away from today with no profits at all, and that actually ended up losing me more money than it saved me. And pretty much, yeah, I moved my stop loss up here to the bottom of this 15-minute imbalance as well, in line with these Asia session highs. And as you can see, I got wick before price then continued higher and actually took out my first and my second take profit pretty much straight away. In this case, I made about 43, or I'm not sure exactly how much it'll be on the thumbnail or on the title or something. I'm sure you'll know, but I made significantly less money than what I would have made. I would probably still be in the trade now, actually. Hopefully this final take profit gets hit, not because I would make money from it, because then I would know that my bias and my decision for the day was actually correct. And at the end of the day, yes, although I am very annoyed at myself for being greedy and for being emotional and for overthinking, and that in turn losing me money today, overall I'm not too angry, because I know that my skills are there and I can, place a trade like this and have the potential to make, I think if I was to win this trade and not have moved my stop loss, I'd be up about 8% of my account size just today, as I've risked 2.5%, which is my highest risk. And that's because we had all the confluences with the breaker structure and the imbalance and the equilibrium, as well as the very strong bias. And my goal for the month is about 8% now. And most of these high interest savings accounts that you guys hear about, or you should put your money in here, the high risk, high reward savings account, get you about 8% annually. And that is my goal monthly. And I almost made that today. And most people are very happy if they make that in a year on their savings. Of course, this isn't I'm not going to dump all my savings into Forex, but as is riskier. But you guys get the gist of what I was saying. And yeah, don't be greedy, don't overthink. Do not move your stop loss away from break even because you want to prevent losses. Well, not losses, because that's what I did. You moved to break even, but don't move it away from break even to guarantee some sort of profits for the day, because the whole point of moving a stop loss and having a stop loss is to prevent, in the case of a reversal, so if price came all the way down here, then you wouldn't have to close all the way down here, you would only close here, so you'd actually make money. But in this case, I had my stop loss so high that it wasn't a reversal and it could keep going. Pretty much the aim of a stop loss is to have it low enough where price no longer will continue higher, but not so low where you lose so much money in the case of a reversal. And it's finding that sweet spot. And yeah, so hopefully you guys learned something from the video. Hopefully you can implement these stop loss sort of ideas into your trading. You can see why I was bullish for the day, why I had the potential to take a very profitable trade. And yeah, hopefully you guys also do not give in to your emotions and move your stop loss when you shouldn't. That is it for me today. Hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.